it become a profit and loss account of anything. It becomes an income statement of any business. Right?
the other requirement.
Yes, I've done it. I've done it. Huh? Yeah, so three circle out there. Third one, no? Third one. Yes, I've done it. Income setting, ending work, and the third. Yeah, done it. But no, it is weapon splitting, finding weapon, capital, finding weapon. But it is yeah, and one cross is there on the top right hand side. But it is there's a monkey. That I think you are asking what. Okay. Third button is very vital to take. And that putting it. All the clusters. One of my colleagues
Miraj Dayal sir, you are visible and audible. Request you to please continue on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes sir, we can hear you.
And use my
Yes sir, both your video and audio are fine.
audio, huh? Yeah. Now, what
This is your moderator here. I request all the directors and chairmen to turn on their camera, please.
Start the meeting. क्या बोलते हो?
Okay.
A very good afternoon to all the shareholders and respected directors. Myself, Manoj Agarwal, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer of your company. I welcome you all to the 44th AGM of your company, which is being held today through video conferencing for the first time. The facility to join through video conferencing is being made available through our registrar, KFintech Technologies Private Limited. As you are all aware that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, central government and state government have issued various guidelines to contain the virus. In the backdrop of the same, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI have issued various circulars which allow the companies to hold their AGM through video conferencing. This AGM is being held pursuant to the Companies Act 2013 and as per the circular issued by MCA and SEBI in this regard. I would also like to bring to your kind attention that as per Article 70 of the Articles of Association of your company, the Chairman of the Board, Sri Sumit Mazumdar, will preside over this AGM. Before I hand over the proceedings to the Chairman, I would like to highlight a few points. This AGM, the timing for this AGM is 4 p.m., but we have enabled the joining option 30 minutes prior to the meeting. Shareholders are requested to join the meeting through their laptops and use earphones for better experience. They are also advised to use a dedicated internet line with good speed so that they do not face any disruption. The Register of Directors and key managerial personnel and the Register of Contracts or Arrangements have been made available for inspection till the AGM. Any member desirous of inspecting the same can send an email to secretarial@bcml.in. Since this AGM is being held through video conferencing, the facility for proxies have not been made available, which is in consonance to the MCA circular. The resolutions as set out in the notice of this AGM have been put to vote, and the facility to vote electronically through remote e-voting has been provided. Shareholders who have not yet voted and who are participating in this AGM will get one more opportunity to vote for the same at the end of the AGM when the chairman announces for the same. With this, I thank you all and I request Chairman Sir to proceed with the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manoj. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon, and I extend my hearty and cordial welcome to you at the 44th Annual General Meeting of your company. As Manoj mentioned, that in view of the massive outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, social distancing is a norm to be followed. And therefore, the AGM has been convened through video conferencing in compliance with the Companies Act 2013, read with the circulars issued by the MCA and SEBI in this regard, without the physical presence of the shareholders. I'll just take a minute and I wish each one of you and your families to be very safe, and please carry all the guidances as the government has told us. Since the requisite quorum is present, I hereby call the meeting to order. All the directors of the company are present through video conferencing from their respective locations. The representatives of the statutory auditors, as well as the secretarial auditor of the company, are also present through video conferencing. In case any technical disruption or failure happens, and if I happen to get cut off, Sri Vivek Sarogi shall take the chair and continue the proceedings of the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice convening this AGM along with the annual financial statement, board's report and auditor's report for the financial year 2019-2020 have been with you for some time now. With your permission, I shall take them as read. The auditor's report did not have any qualification or observations or adverse comments. In terms of Section 145 of the Act, auditor's report is therefore not required to be read out. In compliance with the provisions of the Companies Act and the SEBI listing regulations, your company has extended remote e-voting facility to its members to transact the business set out in the notice of the AGM. The said remote e-voting facility was available from 19th to the 21st of August 2020. Mr. Amber Ahmed, Company Secretary in practice, has been appointed as the scrutinizer for scrutinizing the remote e-voting facility as well as for the e-voting at this AGM in a fair and transparent manner. Members who have not already cast their votes through remote e-voting facility and who are present at the meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes through e-voting at the end of the meeting. The results would be declared after considering the e-voting at the AGM and the remote e-voting already done. The results will be submitted to the stock exchange within 48 hours of the conclusion of this meeting and would be placed on the website of the company. Now, I would like to invite Sri Vivek Sarogi, the Managing Director of your company, to give an overview of the financial performance of the company and a little on the future outlook. May I request Vivek, please?
I request the boardroom be unmuted, please.
Yeah. So sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and a very warm welcome to all the shareholders. We meet in these special circumstances. I shall begin by giving you a brief synopsis on the industry outlook. Thereafter, if you have any questions, we will take it and answer it. So basically, our industry is divided into two parts. One is the policies governed by the center, which are related to the finished products, that is sugar, ethanol, and the policies governing these two. State government looks after the cane price and the UPERC decides the tariff. So I'll begin with the central government. As done in the past, they have, we look forward to a repetition of the same protocol. However, things are still to be done and we are very hopeful they would be done. So we are looking forward to a surplus here. Last year, our production was 27.2 million. Next year's estimate by ISMA is 30.5 million. We are very pleasantly surprised with the consumption. At present, the data points out that despite COVID, maybe our consumption this year will be higher than last year. So our internal estimate of consumption is north of 255 lakh tons. Therefore, we begin with an opening stock of about 10 to 10.5 million. 10.5 million. Next year, if we add 30.5, the total go to about 41 or 410 lakhs. If we consume 260, we will be left, or 26 million, we will be left with 15 million. And if government again says or empowers or gives us the subsidy for 6 million, we'd be left with 9 million. Therefore, the prospects are we could begin the 21-22 season with 9 million balance instead of 10.5. Now, these are forward-looking statements. This is how things look as of today and based on past precedents of the government. So what are we looking from the central government? Enacting the same policies. One, export permission for 6 million and with a similar subsidy as was granted last year. continuance of buffer stock, that is the extra stock which we carry, government reimburses us the interest for that, a healthy ethanol pricing based on cost of production and MSP, and our revision of the demand of revision of MSP. I think these are the four factors by the central government as of now. So we are hopeful that in the near future, we should get a policy decision on all four of these factors. As I repeat, in the past, we have had very positive decisions on all these four fronts. And the major reason is that, together with the growth in the ethanol sector, which is a pet project of our Honorable Prime Minister, as well as it is environment friendly and forex positive, it is also an incentive to pay the farmers on time. It is an enabling method, all the above, to give you enough revenue, stroke cash flow, to be able to clear your cane price dues. The government this year has raised FRP by 10 rupees from 275 to 285, and therefore we are even more hopeful that with the rise in cost based on the MSP rise, based on the FRP rise, these policies should come through. Now we go to the central government. The central government announces a SAP, that is statutory advice price, at the beginning of the season. We think that they will do so sometime in the month of October or November. Our request to the state government is to keep the prices constant. However, the decision would finally rest with them. As far as the tariff fixation goes, you're aware that the tariff was reduced by UPRC by about 1.8 rupees per unit, from 480 to 3. For 1.8, yeah. So, yeah. And we are litigating against that. Our litigation has not yet drawn fruit. The case could not come up for hearing owing to the court's non-functionality in this COVID environment. However, the case is lying, and we, as an industry, do feel we have a very good case. So, as Balrampur, we continue to focus our efforts on debottlenecking, efficiencies, and improving mainly our recoveries via cane development. So our special focus this year would be again on variety, to take our company from the existing recovery levels of about 11.9, and we hope that we are able to cross 12 very soon, and thereafter keep going towards a higher target. The second thing which we are looking at is our distillery business. We are looking to enhance our tendering next year from the same facility, to use the facility to about 100% capacity utilization. And our Gulelia distillery, from when it's being commissioned, has run at 105-110% average capacity utilization. So the project, which was installed in January, has been well commissioned and has run with all the efficiency parameters at capacity plus norms. We will continue to look for more business opportunities, both in the ethanol segment as well as any other interesting opportunity which comes by. So that's the basic overview on the industry outlook. Pramod, would like to say something? Not just one. Okay. Right. So thank you, Chairman, sir. Back to you.
Thanks, Vivek. That was, I'm sure, informative to all our shareholders. Members may now put forth their questions, queries, observations, if any, on the financial statement. Shareholders who have already registered as speakers have been provided with specific links to log in at the meeting. We request the speakers to be concise and limit their questions to 3 minutes, so that everyone gets a fair chance to ask questions. Since there probably would be similar questions from quite a few of you, we would wait till the end before I would request the Managing Director to respond to your queries. May I request the moderator to let in the speakers in the order that they have registered, that they would like to speak, and to be unmuted so that they can put forward their questions and queries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is your moderator. I'll be bringing the speakers one after another. I request the speakers to wait until your name is called for your turn. The first speaker is Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf from North 24 Parganas. I request Mr. Santosh Kumar to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, please. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Jaideep Bakshi. Mr. Jaideep Bakshi from Kolkata. I request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chairman. Myself, Jaideep Bakshi.
Good afternoon.
I'm connecting from Kolkata. Thanks to Mr. Manoj Agarwal, our company secretary, for giving me an opportunity to express my views and presenting a descriptive annual report, and to the entire team for conducting this video conference. Proud to be part of the second largest and most respected sugar producer in private sector in India. Hello. We have made 4 acquisitions. What future plans do you have present capacity utilization of plants? Our revenue from operation is high, around 10.63%. How much business affected due to havoc created by this life in the lives of the mankind by this virus and the economic breakdown and distribution of products to stock units? What is our percentage of market share? Byproduct of sugar manufactured ethanol acts as a raw material for downstream product. Revenue generated from it and the blending with petrol will reduce our carbon dioxide emissions and crude oil import. Government recently allowed the export of sugar. How much do we stand to benefit and revenue earning from that side? Amount of power generated from the bagasse and steps to reduce the carbon footprint. Congrats for the zero liquidity discharge and wastewater treatment and reuse of the same. Steps taken for availability of quality raw material, that is buffer stock if yield is low or climatic disruptions. What are the embracing our new technologies, or what are the steps we are taking? And congrats for your CSR activities. Hope our company will put an extra effort to keep in track as a major player in its segment. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our previous speaker, Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf, has joined us. Mr. Santosh Kumar, I request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf.
हाँ जी, बोल दे रहा हूँ, एक बार वीडियो ऑन कर रहा हूँ सर, 1 मिनट के लिए, 1 सेकंड। हाँ, नमस्कार जी।
नमस्ते।
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, उपस्थित निवेश सदस्यगण और मेरे शेयर होल्डर भाइयों बहनों, मेरा नाम संतोष कुमार सराफ है जी। आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, जो आज वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस थ्रू प्रेजेंट हम लोग हैं। सर, मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि आप सब स्वस्थ होंगे, आपकी फैमिली स्वस्थ होगी, जितने डायरेक्टर हैं और जितने अपने स्टाफ हैं और अपनी मिलों में काम करने वाले कर्मचारी हैं, जितने भी अपने अपनी जो इस कंपनी की उन्नति में हाथ बटा रहे हैं, सब स्वस्थ होंगे। और भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ आगे आगामी फेस्टिव सीजन में भी उनको हंसी खुशी रखे और उनके सबके स्वास्थ्य की अच्छी कामना करे सकते। और मैं लगता हूँ कि अपने आनंद से बिताएंगे। कोविड की सिचुएशन आई है, बहुत खराब है सर, तो इसके पॉजिटिव भी देखिए, हम नेगेटिव नहीं सोचते, नेगेटिव सोचना आदमी का अच्छा नहीं है। पॉजिटिव यह कि आप टेक्नोलॉजी के कारण आपसे हम जुड़े हुए हैं, डायरेक्टर अपने घर से जुड़े हुए हैं, मैं अपने घर से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ और भी अपने घर से जुड़े हुए थे। यही अगर टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं, कोविड नहीं होता तो कोई शायद इसका रिसर्च भी नहीं करता, कभी इसके बारे में विचार भी नहीं करता कि हमको वीडियो कॉल में मीटिंग भी करनी है। तो इसके पॉजिटिव देखिए सर। और सर, मैं आप सबको मैनेजमेंट को धन्यवाद दूंगा सर कि उन्होंने अपनी कंपनी से 4 हम लोग को बाईबैक दिया सर। 180 रुपये बाइक में, जबकि 150 का 130 का दाम था। ये समझ लीजिए, हमको इस कोविड पीरियड में जो पैसे की क्राइसिस थी उसमें हमको काफी हेल्प मिला सर। इसके लिए मैं मैनेजमेंट को धन्यवाद दूं। और ये मैंने पूछा 5 बार कब ला रहे हो बाइक है कि हम फिर आशा करके बैठे कि 5वां वाइपर कब ला रहे हैं सर। और सर ये कोविड का अपने जो कंपनी में क्या इफेक्ट हुआ और इफेक्ट को कमती से कमती करने का क्या उपाय है सर। और सर मैंने ये आपको थोड़ा बचत के लिए सैलरी कट और ये सब मैंने बारे में मैंने भी विचार किया है, आपको भी रिक्वेस्ट की है अगर पॉसिबल देखिए सर। इसके अलावा सर मेरा एक तो है फीमेल एम्प्लॉय के लिए, पता है लोग मुझे कहते हैं क्यों फीमेल के लिए इतना कहते हो, नहीं मुझे फीमेल के लिए उन्नति के लिए बहुत चिंता है सर, उनकी समाज में उन्नति और बराबर का दर्जा मिले, ये मेरा एक सब्जेक्ट मैटर है सर। तो आपके फीमेल सिर्फ मेरे आइडिया से 4 फीमेल एम्प्लॉय है सर टोटल के अंदर में, तो इनको आगे बढ़ाइए सर। और ये इनको मतलब ज्यादा से ज्यादा सेल्फ पावर बढ़ाइए सर, अगर ये सेल्फ पावर बनती है तो अपने समाज की ऑटोमेटिक उन्नति हो जाएगी सर, हमको करने की दरकार भी नहीं है। इसके साथ 20 नंबर एम्प्लॉय के लिए भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा सर, उनको भी देखिए कहीं ना कहीं मौका मिल जाएगा, 1 या 2 हफ्ते है बहुत कम है सर, कई जगह मिलता है सर, बिल सेक्शन में, चेकिंग सेक्शन में कहीं भी मिल जाएंगे सर, वो भी आज के पढ़े लिखे होते, पहले जैसे नहीं कि हम अपन तो पढ़ेंगे नहीं सर। इसके लिए रिक्वेस्ट करता सर, एक सर आज वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग के अंदर में आप लोग कितने आदमी बन रहे हैं लॉगिन क्या बताइएगा सर, और मेरे को दोबारा मौका दिया इसके लिए मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ सर। 1 सेकंड के लिए ना चेयरमैन साहब की आवाज बंद हो गई थी, तो मैंने सोचा शायद मेरी कनेक्टिविटी प्रॉब्लम होगी, इसलिए मैंने डिसकनेक्टेड दोबारा लॉगिन किया, बहुत अच्छा लगा मौका दिया सर। और सर आपसे प्रार्थना करता हूँ, एक रिक्वेस्ट है मेरी कि जिंदगी में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग करिए सर, फिजिकल मीटिंग भूल जाइए, बहुत तकलीफ होती है, सभी को तकलीफ होती है सर, आपको भी तकलीफ होती है, बाहर से डॉक्टर आते हैं उनको भी तकलीफ होती है, ट्रेवलिंग रिस्क भी होता है सर, आने जाने रिस्क भी होता है, तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा सर वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग, खर्चे की बचत है। आपने लोग ने कितना हमको कहा कि आप ईमेल दे दीजिए, हम आपको किताब ईमेल से भेज देंगे, कभी नहीं देते थे, लेकिन आज हमको देना मजबूरी हो गया क्योंकि हमको वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग अटेंड करनी है, तो ईमेल ही मेरा साधन है, ईमेल से मेरी लॉगिन होगी। और सर लास्ट में मैंने सबके स्वास्थ्य की दोबारा कामना करता हूँ, बहुत प्रार्थना करता हूँ सबको हंसी मुखी स्वस्थ रहे, और उनकी जो आने वाली फेस्टिवल है वो चीनी मिल की तरह चीनी से गुजरे सर है, और मिठाई के साथ में गुजरे, घर में मिठाई बनाइए, बाजार से मिठाई मत दीजिए, चीनी मिल को नुकसान हो रहा होने दीजिए, घर की मिठाई बनाइए और खाइए, ये अपने बाप दादे बनाते थे किसी जमाने के अंदर में। तो मैं धन्यवाद सर, और भगवान से प्रार्थना तो मेरा नमस्कार लीजिएगा, जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय श्री राम के साथ। और सर अगले साल वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग रखिए, फिजिकल मत करिए, एनईएफटी करना सीख के वैसे ये भी सीख जाइए सर, धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. I request our next speaker, Mr. Abhirup Nandi from Kolkata, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask your question, sir. Mr. Abhirup Nandi from Kolkata.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Am I audible and visible, sir?
You're audible, sir, but not visible. But still, you can proceed with your question, sir.
Okay. Okay. So good afternoon to the chairman, MD sir, other directors, and our respected company secretary. I am Abhirup Nandi, an equity shareholder of this company from Kolkata. Sir, firstly, 1920 has been a very strong cash flow. So great results as per financial year 1920. This AGM is being very conducted in a very smooth manner, fair and transparent. So I appreciate the way the AGM is being conducted and managed. So your CSR activities are highly appreciable. You have spent 10.92 crores across all the important sectors like health and education. So that is really a good part on your show. Your corporate governance has always been very appreciable when this management team is leading us. Leading our Balrampur Chini, so it is really appreciable how the corporate governance is being managed. Your design of annual report has been outstanding and out of the box and attractive, which is like every year that this happens. It is very good. The annual report, it pleases our eyes when we see Balrampur Chini annual report. So your strong cash flow it is very well utilized with the buyback, with dividend and repaying of loan. Your debt equity ratio has also gone down. So very good utilization of our profit that has been generated from the company. So these are all the shareholders must appreciate whatever efforts our board is. We definitely appreciate how the management is leading the company. Thank you for the opportunity for letting me speak on this AGM through video conference. I hope everyone stays safe. Wishing a good luck to the whole family of Balrampur Chini Mills. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request the next speaker, Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak from Kolkata, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask your question, sir. Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak.
Hello.
Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak, I request you to unmute your audio and proceed with your question, sir. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Chandravati Gathani from Kolkata. I request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask your question, sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर, चेयरमैन सर नमस्ते। आपको विवेक सरावगी जी, आपको खास करके नमस्कार। आपके और मीनाक्षी मैम के नाम पे ही मैं 25 साल से शेयर होल्डर हूँ। भावनान शुगर का भी था, और सिंस ऑडिट में मैं शुगर मिल को बहुत अच्छी तरह देखा हूँ। मैं अवध शुगर मिल, रोजर शुगर मिल वगैरह ऑडिट में गया था एसआर वाटली भाई से, तो बहुत अच्छा है। मनोज अग्रवाल जी, आपको नमस्ते। वी वेलकम यू इन आवर कंपनी सर। तो आपको पहले भी मैं सिस्टी में जानता था, जहाँ 15 साल से मैं आपको जानता हूँ। उम्मीद, और आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया हम लोग को वीसी में मिलाने के लिए। आपके ऑफिस से भी जब 2 नंबर स्पीकर था, वो वापस कॉल आया कि मिस्टर गठानी आप 5 नंबर में हो। थैंक यू वेरी मच। आशा है आपसे हम लोग बहुत गेन करेंगे कंपनी में सर। प्रमोद पटवारी जी, आपका अकाउंट बहुत अच्छा लगा, वेरी नाइस। मेरा कुछ क्वेरीज भी था, वो मनोज अग्रवाल जी ने रिप्लाई कर दिया मेरे को, बट स्टिल आई वुड लाइक टू से समथिंग सर। आवर शेयर प्राइसेस आर ग्रेट राइट नाउ, 148.25 सर। मेरे को सबसे, जस्ट ए सेकंड सर, मेरे को सबसे बड़ा पॉजिटिव सर इस बैलेंस शीट में ये लगा, आवर कंपनी ने क्रेडिट रेटिंग ऑफ AA किया, विच इज द हाईएस्ट अचीव फॉर एनी शुगर कंपनी इन इंडिया सर। AA का मतलब हमारे जैसे इन्वेस्टर का फेथ बढ़ता है। सबसे बेस्ट तो AAA है, वो तो सबको मालूम है, क्राइसिल और केयर और इकरा देते हैं, लेकिन AA में भी मेरा बहुत बड़ा भरोसा है सर इस कंपनी पे। भरोसा तो पहले भी था। विवेक सर, आपके साथ ही हम लोग जुड़े हुए हैं। सेकेंड पॉजिटिव मेरे को लगा, कंपनी कमीशन ए 160 KLPD डिस्टिलरी एट गुलारिया टू मैन्युफैक्चर एथेनॉल। ये भी एक बहुत अच्छा ब्राइट कदम है सर अपना। तो फ्यूचर में भी मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, अगर एवरीथिंग इज पॉजिटिव। कोविड ने थोड़ा बहुत हिलाया सबको, लेकिन बहुत बड़ा पॉजिटिव लगा ये मेरे को सर। कंपनी बिजनेस एक्सपेंडेड टू 10 नंबर ऑफ शुगर फैक्ट्रीज विद 4 डिस्टिलरी, 8 जनरेशन यूनिट्स। बहुत सारे इसमें भी पॉजिटिव है सर। कंपनी बढ़ता चला जा रहा है, और कंपनी का एक और खास बात सर, अपने 1092.89 CSR में किया, और बहुत अच्छा जगह आपका CSR हुआ जो मैंने देखा। तो आपका विवेक सर, आपका तो फिलेंथ्रोपी में भी बहुत अच्छा नाम है, और आप करते भी बहुत अच्छा हो सर। तो मैं, क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्पीकर, तो मेरे को एक मैसेज भी आया था कि आप थोड़ा शॉर्ट रखिएगा, 3 मिनट में ऑटोमेटिक ऑफ हो जाएगा। तो सर नेक्स्ट ईयर फिर मिलेंगे आपसे। चेयरमैन सर, आपको भी नमस्ते। वी विल मीट नेक्स्ट ईयर सर। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. I request our next speaker, Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee from Kolkata, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask a question.
Hello. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak such a wonderful occasion today by your company organized Balrampur Chini Mills Limited. It is our 44th AGM. Our company Balrampur Chini, yes, excellent company, managed. The management is working hard, created value of minority shareholders. Buyback, it is good. done during this year by the company. Yes, cash flow used in operation last year about 390 crores. This year, cash generated from operation about 948 crores. Really appreciable the efforts of entire team management. Good performance. Sir, what is our plan
Hello.
to become a green company? As regards the performance, yes, total revenue during this year achieved as visible in the balance sheet under review with a tune around 4,779 crores of rupees. Current market price of the share is now at present at 148. Good. CSR also made by our company for the welfare measures. Sir, what is the capital expenditure plan for upcoming next 3 years? Promoters holding about 41%, sir. Any plan to increase? It is observed also, very noted point that mutual fund companies are also investing, holding their shares in our company, but other companies like Dhampur Sugar, Triveni Sugars, their holding are very negligible. They are only for our Balrampur Chini. Sir, one thing, ethanol, sorry, ethanol blending program of Government of India. What our company hoping to achieve the turnover for making a gross profit margin anticipated from this sector. I hope our management has a capability to overcome certain risks under the leadership of our chairman, Mr. Sumit Majumdar, our managing director, Mr. Vivek Sarogi. They are all well experienced and seniors players in the industry. And with their team of management, our company will definitely grow up, maintain development and prosperity of our company, giving a strategic move with better result year ahead. Lastly, but not least, our company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, yes, is quite experienced, sincere, having vast knowledge, work done also with other major companies, maintaining good cordial relationship as and when we require, try to resolve level best, and also note about other team members also for smooth conducting meeting today, such a wonderful organization. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee. Over to you for further proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Taraknath Chakrabarti from Kolkata. We have not received any feedback from the speaker. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Gautam Nandi from Kolkata. Mr. Gautam Nandi from Kolkata, I request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. We have not received any feedback from Mr. Gautam Nandi as well. Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Tamal Kumar Majumdar. Mr. Tamal Kumar, I request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir.
Yes. 1 minute, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Majumdar, Mr. Sarogi, Dr. Saxena, CFO Mr. Patwari, and other directors of the company. Nice to see all of you in good health. Myself, Tamal Kumar Majumdar, an equity shareholder from Kolkata. And my special thanks to our company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal and his team for maintaining cordial relationship with shareholders. I have some queries relating to audited accounts and other matters. Firstly, as regards the A is concerned, as regards the cogen is concerned, sir, you mentioned in your notes there was no hearing till that. In this connection, I only want to know, and you also mentioned the price difference was earlier it was 4.8 and currently it is around 3 rupees 3 per unit. I want to know whether we are keeping the difference between earlier rate and the current rate as receivable in our accounts, whether we are keeping it. And sir, in 2000, in first quarter of 2021, what I noted, the distillery is the highest contributor. Distillery segment with 95.85 crores, and after that it is sugar with 94.95 crores, excluding interest and other unallocables. And you also mentioned about the remaining part, so I am not asking in this regard any question. Sir, buyback of shares took place during the current year. It was beneficial for company on two counts. Gives exit route to shareholders with a better price, decreases number of shares using free reserve. In this connection, I want to know whether extinguishment of equity shares tender against the said buyback completed till date. Sir, the company invested 157.50 crores against board's approval of 175 crores over a period of 5 years in Oxilo Fensar Private Limited, an unlisted NBFC engaged in financing educational activities. Sir, HDFC Credila is one of the most trusted name in financing activities in education sector and doing excellent business in this area. Is there any possibility of increasing our company stake in it above 50% from current 45.05% in the near future? There are only 17.50 crores left out of board's approval of 175 crores for investment in Auxilio over the next 2 years. Whether the company may approach the board for enhancement of limit in the near future, and how many nominees we have on the board of Auxilio as on date, and is there any possibility of its listing in the near future? Sir, we have an investment of 22.28 crores in Visual Percept Solar Projects Private Limited. How the unit is doing, and is there any possibility of increasing our stake in it? So the company had an inventory of sugar of 1,986.849 crores as on 31st March 2020. What is the present status now in this regard? So the company showed 272.25 crores as export incentive and assistance under note number 26, page 193. Whether the company received the amount till date, and what is the present status of SLP filed by the UP government against Allahabad High Court's order, quashing government's order dated 4/6/2007, by which SIPP 2004 was withdrawn. We have a contingent asset of 468 crores in this regard, sir. And sir, we have after the buyback, we have a capital base of only 22 crores. And against this, we have a free reserve of 2,308 crores. So our company is in a strong footing despite this COVID and other matters, and they are in a position to fight back in the years to come. And sir, there are other points for which I will send a note to our company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, for clarifications. Thank you all for patient hearing.
Thank you, sir. I request the next speaker, Mr. Shyam Sundar Bhattacharya from Kolkata, to kindly unmute your audio, switch on your camera and ask your question, sir. Mr. Shyam Sundar Bhattacharya, we are not getting any audio feedback, sir. We request you to kindly rejoin, check your connection and rejoin, sir. Mr. Shyam Sundar, request you to unmute, sir, to speak. Your audio input is not coming through, sir. I request you to kindly speak without the earphone, sir. So can you try to speak without the earphone, sir? Can you unplug the earphone from your cell phone? Sir, request you to please connect back. We'll be able to connect you, sir. Thank you. We'll now connect back to the previous speaker who had to speak, Mr. Gautam Nandi. We request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera, and ask your question, sir. Mr. Gautam, you are audible, sir. Please proceed with your question.
Am I audible, sir? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yes. Am I visible, sir, also?
Not visible, sir, but you're audible. You can proceed with your question, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Good afternoon, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, my online fellow shareholders. Myself, Gautam Nandi of Kolkata, very old equity shareholder of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited. Firstly, I like to give thanks to your secretarial department for sending me annual report and other necessary relevant papers through email well in advance. Specially thanks to our respected company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, very sober, well behaved and dynamic person, and his whole team for rendering very good services to our minority shareholders. Sir, you are organizing your AGM through video conference for the very first time, and I find it is a grand success. Sir, my earlier speakers expressed their views and already covered most of the points. Therefore, I don't like to repeat it. Sir, इस साल एक्चुअली मैंने डिसाइड ही किया है अकाउंट्स का बारे में कुछ नहीं पूछेंगे. आज ज्यादा बोलने का मन ही सर कर नहीं रहा है क्योंकि कोविड-19 ये पोजीशन में अभी फेंक दिया है. ये कोविड-19 के कारण से सर हम लोग का बहुत बड़ा छोटा बहुत कंपनी देश का बंद हो गया, बहुत आदमी का नौकरी चला गया. और इस पोजीशन में मैं पूछेंगे जी ये क्यों नहीं हुआ, वो रिजल्ट इतना अच्छा क्यों नहीं हुआ, सेल्स क्यों डाउन, नहीं कोई नो क्रिटिसाइज इन दिस ईयर सर. बट वी आर ग्लैड टू सी दैट आवर कंपनी स्टिल ट्राइंग देयर बेस्ट even in this adverse situation. Sir, I am very proud to be a shareholder of your company and I am very hopeful towards the prospect of our company. I have full trust with our strong management. And one more thing, sir, I am very pleased to see that you have declared dividend for the minority shareholders in this pandemic situation. Really great. I must appreciate it. Sir, nothing to say more today. Looking forward with a positive outlook towards our company with higher profit margin and return. Thank you very much.
And the speaker, Mr. Manoj Gupta, has sent us a video.
Respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders, my name is Manoj Gupta. I am equity shareholder of Balrampur Chini Mill Limited. First of all, I thanks to Secretarial Department for their efforts to help us to attend this meeting through VC. And I warm welcome to new company secretary that he will help the investors in every aspect. And I believe that board will consider interim dividend soon after the AGM as per their previous policy. And what is the COVID impact on our company, and convey our best wishes to Rani Ma because she is the real architect of this company, and we always pray to God for her healthy and safe, prosperous, long life. And what is your view on sugar industry for next 6 months, and what is your on in competition in this industry? And thanks to the board for second buyback offer in 3 years. And thanks to CFO and company secretary and their team to give a nice and informative balance sheet to investors. And last but least, a happy festive seasons with healthy and prosperous, safe, long life to all of you. Thank you.
Another speaker, Mr. Jain, has sent us a video.
Hi, my name is Vibhor Jain. I am an existing shareholder of Balrampur Chini Mills. My client ID is DP ID is 12028900 and my client ID is 01392996. I'm holding this. I'm an existing holder since last 3 to 4 months. The reason choosing Balrampur Chini Mills for my portfolio was looking at the financials and the kind of production facilities Balrampur Chini is having across Uttar Pradesh, and I see it as one of the most efficient and a profit-making company. So that is why I had chosen Balrampur Chini Mills in my portfolio. As an investor, from an investor point of view, I would like to know from the company the growth perspectives and the future plans for the company, so that we can be the holder for the company for many years to come. Thank you.
The last speaker, Mr. Chandramouli, has shared a video.
What about the Khalidabad land asset allocation, asset monetization, sir? What is the status of it? And about there is some other asset monetization which you were talking about earlier. Some renewable, the solar energy and things like that. May you know the status of it? Thanks. That's all from me.
With that, all the shareholders who have shared the videos and who have registered to speak are given an opportunity to speak. Now I hand it over back to the chairman, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. First of all, thank you, members, for your interest and involvement in your company. I now request our Managing Director, Shri Vivek Saraogi, to reply to your questions. Vivek?
Thank you, Chairman, sir. So let me at the very outset appreciate the overwhelming appreciation which has come forward from the shareholders. So such love and affection only propels the company ahead. And the appreciation given was on various counts: CSR, corporate governance, good annual report, good secretarial practices, good buyback, hygiene, etc. So let me very clearly tell all our shareholders that our honorable board of directors plays a very, very important role besides the very able team which is running the company. So I would like to specify that beginning from our chairman, our lead director, Mr. D.K. Mittal, who's the head of audit committee, be rest assured, he's a very tough taskmaster and he has taught us a lot. He's taught us a lot on, how to run audit systems, how to run processes, and a lot on safety, effluent treatment, business diversification, etc. Veena ji, who's recently joined, she has been guiding us on how to improve our ratings and about the financials. And I can go on and on. Krishnava gives us a lot of legal inputs. Naresh Dayal sir gives us a lot of macro inputs. So we are very fortunate, dear shareholders, to have a very involved board, beginning from our chairman and the people I've listed. Maybe I've missed something. So let me place on record, sir, our deepest appreciation for the board. So from the shareholder side and from our side, I'd like to, sort of clap for our board, sir. So I would now attempt to answer the queries. There is a, basically there was one query on wastewater, etc. So I'll take this query a little ahead. As a company, we have taken a mission to be compliant on all the fronts in terms of effluent, in terms of safety norms within the factory, and we are working absolutely in a focused way towards it. And very hopefully, we should not say it in this manner, but as far as Balrampur goes, I think it's most reputed on all these counts already in UP, but we want a national footprint on this to be recognized as one of the best in compliances. Now let's talk about the blending program. Okay, so the government of India has a national blending program of 10%. Informal dialogues reveal that they would be taking it even higher, maybe 12%, 13% in the sugar producing states. We will get to know all that very soon when probably the ethanol rates, tenders and policy is declared. On the export front, the figures would depend on the government of India as and when they come out with the program. COVID impact, by God's grace, I mean, if I can say, we've come out absolutely, let's say, comparatively most sort of unharmed, if I can say. There have been cases in the corporate office, there have been cases in the factories, but it was few and far between. The main thing was we ran during entire March, April and May, parts of May, to finish the crushing of cane. With the support of the UP government, with the able leadership at our factory corporate team, everybody put their minds together and we were able to finish the crushing season successfully despite the COVID. And the farmers and miller workers, nobody got impacted during that period of time. As far as consumption goes, it has turned out that COVID has not impacted it, rather there has been a positive growth in consumption. As far as ethanol dispatches goes, our company has registered and will register its highest ever dispatch. On the capacity utilization and use of technology, we have taken it upon ourselves. Again, the board has also guided us here to use technology to the maximum. We're also trying to use a lot of technology in cane in terms of mapping data of the farmers and satellite imaging, etc. And we would be furthering this, especially in cane and in management functions. There was a comment on women employment and the next AGM to be done via VC. I'd leave it upon the others to debate. Women employment, though we do look at it, the factories are located in the interiors and it's a very difficult proposition to keep the safety, etc. And no, I don't think we get any requests also, CVs also. There was an appreciation of the credit rating. Well, we are working towards getting even better from here. On shareholder value creation, again, we are working in a very focused and tireless manner to even work, or, this is not even the beginning to our mind. We have a long way to go and we are working very hard towards it. CapEx over the next 3 years, tough to decide now. All we are saying is that we will be looking at various projects as and when the board approves it, it will be known. It will be, as we've said, related activity. There was the export query from the SIPP, you can handle the financial sides. There was a talk on query on Khalilabad asset monetization, the piece of land which we are endeavoring to sell. In the current situation, we have not yet got a buyer at a proper rate. We are looking toward at it. As soon as we get it, we will look towards monetizing that. There was a query on Visual, selling the stake at Visual. Yes, we did try, and since we did not get a good rate, and today with low interest rates, Visual investment is paying us very well, and there will be a yearly payment which you will get to see in the annual balance sheet year on year. So if it does not monetize, I honestly would be happier, because now there's zero debt and we've already started getting money out of Visual into the company. On Oxulo, yes, the closest competitor is Credila. So we've begun this. We're keeping a very close eye on it. even in these troubled times, I don't think we just personally done a review few days back, and we hope that this company will create value for shareholders. ICICI Bank has invested in this at a price of 15 rupees, which is a 50% premium to the promoter's price. And we hope that, with ICICI also in the fray, one will get a lot more business in this company. The Pujan deals, etc., right, what you deal with, stocks you deal with. I think this is the list of queries which I have noted. Now, Pramod, on to you for the financials and the anything else.
Thank you, sir. Most of the questions which were on the macro front has already been answered by the managing director, and I would like to answer the questions on a more specific terms. There was one question from the shareholder regarding the market share. Our market share for sugar is around 4%. So we are 4% of India. However, in terms of our ethanol capacity, as of now, we are supplying 9 to 10% of India's supply. There was one question relating to CSR. Our focus area of expenditure in CSR is the local area from where we operate, and almost 75% to 80% of the amount what we spent on CSR is in that area, that is in the state of UP. There was one question with respect to accounting of power. As rightly said, the power tariff has been reduced from 5 rupees per unit to 3 rupees per unit. So we have decided to account for at the rate of 3 rupees per unit. That means in the balance sheet, there is nothing receivable on account of difference between the 5 rupees rate and the 3 rupee rate. Regarding extinguishment, yeah, we have already extinguished the shares which were bought under buyback. Stock of inventory, as of 30th June, we were holding around 55 lakh quintals of sugar cane, and as of 30th September, you will come to know when the results are announced sometime. Regarding export incentives, we have already mentioned that for the last year, we have received each and everything on account of export incentives. However, for the current year, that is for the sugar season 19-20, we are expecting that amount will be received sometimes in the month of October or November. Regarding SIPP 2004, we have already written off the receivable amount from our books of accounts long back in 2015-16 only. As and when any positive outcome is given by the court, that amount to Supreme Court, we are entitled to that amount. But on the balance sheet, nothing has been accounted for as a receivable. I think we are able to answer all the questions which were raised. If anybody is left with any other questions, they can always get in touch with us through phone or email, and we will be very happy to answer their queries. Thank you so much.
Vivek and Pramod, thank you very much. I will say you've been very comprehensive in your response, and I trust the investors have got all the clarification that they were seeking. However, if you still have further clarifications, please do get in touch with the company secretary, Manoj Agarwal, or of course the CFO. Now coming back to the business, the remote e-voting has already been done on the business set out in the notice of the AGM. As I mentioned earlier, members attending the AGM today who have not cast their votes already will have the opportunity to vote at the end of the meeting, and that window will be open for 15 minutes. Once again, take this opportunity to thank you all for participating in the AGM. I would also, on behalf of the board, like to place our deepest appreciation for the services rendered by our colleague on the board, Sri Shakti Prasad Ghosh, whose tenure is due to end on the 30th of September 2020. He is now 81 years old and he does not wish to be reappointed again. We wish him good health and thank him for his outstanding contribution as a board member. We are now nearing the end of the meeting. I request Mr. Amber Ahmad, the scrutinizer, to scrutinize the e-voting in a fair and transparent manner. With this, the 44th AGM comes to a conclusion. I want to thank again all the members for their presence and involvement. Manoj, do we all the board members now sign off?
Yes, sir. Respected directors can log off, and the e-voting platform will be open for 15 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well done, team.
Fine.